Hey guys, welcome back to the Joe Freezy channel. Don't forget, we're all about Cyberpunk 2077, so you're going to come here for all your news about cyberware, upgrades, vehicles, parts of Night City, Brain Dance, all the exclusive things that we don't know about yet, and some of the stuff that we do. We're going to discuss it right here on the...
Some things of how did Night City happen? How did it become? What's the world that they live in? What happened 50 years? From 1990 to 2016, there was 3 corporate wars. Corporations, they started getting more and more involved with politicians. So they do everything from, donating to the politicians to whatever they can so the politicians can start getting votes. So when they do that, the corporations are only in their best interest to focus on certain things. Those things are being wealth, influence, and then power. So when they get all this power and influence, and the mega corporations start spreading their power throughout the world, it's ultimately going to affect not what the people want, not what the government wants, but only what the corporations want. And what ended up happening was by gaining more and more access to the politicians and making these backyard deals, these backdoor deals to get more access to the natural resources like electricity, oceanic research, oil. Oil is a huge resource. So what happened was the environment started to collapse. So when the environment started to collapse in Night City, there was things that happened. So things like acid rain, dust storms, climate change. All these things started to happen from Night City. And when it also started happening was you have your global oil crisis, radioactive wastelands. Then you had the stock market. Stock market crashed when they found out that U.S. tried saving itself by getting involved in the European and stock market and the U.S. stock market and making subtle changes here and there, and those subtle changes became a little bit bigger changes to try to save itself. Absolutely, it backfired and caused a massive crash. This is what caused the fourth corporate war. Now, the fourth corporate war happened because 2 major corporations, they're basically fighting over one resource. That resource was being water and oceanic research. So what ended up happening was the corporations are so powerful and so rich, they started hiring these mercenary military groups that develop weapons and technology. And those 2 mercenary groups were Militech and Arasaka. Now, Militech is a US-based company. Arasaka is a Japanese-based company. Now, what you may not know is Arasaka and Militech, they basically took great measures to the war. They basically expanded it many years, and it turned into basically a world war. And something had to be done. So another set of mercenaries calling themselves the Atlantis Group included Rogue, Morgan Blackhand, and Johnny Silverhand. Johnny Silverhand and his group, what they did was they went into the Arasaka Towers at Night City, which was the U.S. headquarters for Arasaka, and they set off a nuclear reactor that basically obliterated the entire Arasaka building and a good portion of Night City. So Johnny Silverhand's group, they go into this building, they blow it up. Arasaka, complete shame. They return to Asia, and when they return to Asia, many years go by. Now you got to remember the states are now part free and part not free. So 46 years goes by now, from 2023 to 2069. There's years of growth and all these different changes. In 2069, the U.S. steps in and starts creating massive changes. So they enlist martial law. They keep government. The government keeps Militech in check, and NetWatch creates a barrier for the web called the Blackwall Project. Many large corporations fall. Many cities were abandoned, creating nomads out in the desert. And also, what they also do is with cities, a lot of them are their population is depleted from these natural disasters, high floods, crazy tornadoes, hurricanes, because the environment is just completely out of array. Now, people want to be free, so what ends up happening is Arasaka secretly sneaks back into the U.S. for these states that want to be free from the government's martial law. And you have Southern California that wants to agree with the government and wants to keep everyone safe and keep them involved, and then you have Northern California, which wants to stay independent in a complete free state. Eventually, a peace treaty is signed, and Night City becomes a free state, free from any government laws that may take effect from the other states. This caused a lot of the corporations to come back, and it even caused a lot of money to be dumped into Night City, and that's where you start getting the cyberware and technologies start. They start looking at it, and then all of a sudden, Arasaka's building that was blown up by Johnny Silverhand, the Arasaka gets it back. So they're able to work among each people. Everyone's trying to get their money back. So they're fighting with small gangs, and they have private contracts. They're all trying to develop more cyberware, more weapons and technology. And now Night City is developing. So now that Night City is developing, many parts of the city remain extremely high crime, causing a lot of gang and turf wars and corporations fighting for the next contract. I think the game is going to be really, really good. And this was just a little tidbit to show you how did Night City become, what the corporate wars were, what the Metal Wars were, and what happened in the history. Why is it a wasteland? Why is it some of it's blown up? Some of it's why have people deserted the city? Why is the crime so high? It's basically a complete economic breakdown because we gave corporations way too much power, and corporations did nothing but care for themselves, with more and more government contracts and then non-government contracts. That created a complete war between the corporations themselves, creating great turmoil between both sides. Johnny Silverhands, they step in, and once Johnny Silverhand's team, they blow up their Arasaka, things calm down for about 50 years until it starts building back up again. So you're going to see a lot of gangs in here. You're going to see a lot of corporations still have beef with each other, Arasaka and Militech specifically. And then you're going to see a lot of private contracts that you'll be able to be that one guy that kind of floats around. You'll do one job for this guy, one job for this guy, one job for that guy, one guy for this guy. So it'll be interesting to see all the gangs, see what you can do with each one. But yeah, once again, this was just a touch base on how Night City became, what was the history, and I hope you guys liked the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you missed some of it, go back, watch the video. And I'll also edit, do some clipping, and I'll put it on my YouTube channel as well. So thanks again. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you soon. Peace.